on his main wall brought up Stockholm syndrome. Y'all need to Google the term if you need to.
Feel free.
Cam, talk to the people about basketball Stockholm syndrome. Because I'm very intrigued by this topic right here.
It is, especially within this context, we're talking about like a real serious lack of mental evolution as far as what you're seeing this league and how this league grows, moves, shakes, all types of stuff. We're in a league right now where the vast majority of players in this league legitimately have generational wealth lined up for their families. We ain't ever seen that from athletes even 30, 20, 30 years ago. Starting to come, but not at this level. Because we're seeing what mid-tier level guys, 20, 25 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they're really not thinking on the employee mindset. They're thinking and moving like bosses on and off the floor. And you're seeing a lot of criticism, a lot of ridicule. Well, it's almost like you getting a real shut up and dribble, shut up and play. You lucky, this, that, and the other. And you getting this from, I expect to get this from white people. Absolutely do. But when it falls on the color scheme that we own, when it matches our tone, as Big Gibb said back in 1995, that's when it becomes disturbing. Because it's like y'all are really so geared into even with the Kyrie thing. I
Mm-hmm.
get the part, and we all agree with this, like, yo, somebody, you gonna have to answer to somebody just from the chain of communication, everything there. But did anybody ever think about it from this standpoint? Not saying that it was the case with Kyrie, especially intended for Steve Nash, because Steve Nash is actually more down than a whole lot of black folks for social justice than a whole lot of people of color. That's just the truth. I've listened and heard Steve Nash do his thing and talk about that. But it never occurred to anybody where it's like, no, I'm not calling y'all. I'm not gonna go through this chain of command. Look, if y'all gonna find me for it, find me for it. I pay for it. I'm bossy. But I'm gonna go do what I'm gonna do. What I feel is in my heart that I need to do right now. Whether that be sit out games, forfeit salary, whatever it is, even if it calls for a retirement at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stop programming and plugging ourselves to think that there's a certain way to skin the cat. And it's not like that no more, y'all. We not at some point we're gonna have more than one majority owner that's a black man at some point in this league. What's the thought process gonna be then? All this ties back over into GOAT conversations, how the game is viewed, how the game has been dumbed down
That
to
boy,
whether you have a championship or you garbage, you slow, you trash, you're not a number one. How you? I seen Colin Cowherd post a tweet talking about James Harden not being a number one option. James Harden has averaged 35 for like the last 3 years. How the hell is he not number one? Based on what? Well, he wasn't able to do this in the playoffs, bro. They went to the playoffs 8 straight years in Houston. Dream didn't even do that. Don't believe me? Look it up. So where does it end though? And I know
I,
MJ got a clip.
I think we have you talk about what you're talking about, Ham, and all that was brilliantly explained. I just think we as basketball fans, as much as we say we are for the player, we're for the players to a point.
To an extent.
To an extent.
Absolutely. And don't let it
Once,
be a situation where it's already you don't like this dude. This is why I ask the question every year. Hey, who y'all like?
who do you like? I
Who
just
y'all
think
like so much?
today's player has so much more. And Ham, you talk about boss, you talk about the money,
Mhm.
you talk about the boss moves, but more importantly, today's player has so much more control
Absolutely.
than what the previous generation had. It's control.
Tag me.
I'm gonna tag you. Give me 10 seconds because y'all had a head start on me. Wednesday. But I'm gonna get you. I really think it's an issue of, to use the old. I'm not even gonna use that as a phrase. Players got control. When you talk about things like knuckleheads, all smoke, I am athlete, they control the message, they control the method, and quite frankly, my pockets are big enough that you can't even threaten me with money. You can't threaten me. Kyrie Irving's total fine is $870,000. He got that underneath his couch.
He gave that away last summer in charity.
He gave that away. That's nothing. So I just think as much as, especially with you talk about us as fans, have to adjust that vision. These dudes have all the control.
And that's where they really get bothered.
They have the control.
Yeah.
They got it.
They got it. And that's where people getting bothered though, Big Shot. That's the funny part.
And I think that's what bothers people, because in their own 99% of the people in this country don't have that type of control.
Have that kind of get the tag champs involved.
Germ, MJ, there's the tag. Boom. Go ahead.
I want Germ first, because once I do this, y'all gonna want to wrap the show up once I talk. Germ, go ahead.
Let me get the leave meat button right now. Hold on. Okay.
So first and foremost, let me start at the top. If the NBA players were equivalent to something, they will be equivalent to you, which are the fans who work for everybody else for the 9 to 5s. We're going to set this up properly. The GMs and the owners, those are the people who are the corporation owners, the people who own the companies that you work for, and everything else like that. The same owners that we're talking about right now on both ends, the players / employees, have more power than they understand that they have. Because if everybody came together on one platform, one forum, and stood together as a group, as teams, guess what would happen? It will force the owner to listen to some of your gripes about the work conditions. It would force your owners to work more toward being more people friendly or employee friendly. Because guess what they need in order for them to make money? You. So we're mad at players for saying that they got the power because they have been employed to play basketball in front of y'all, for y'all to only pay a cable bill that also comes in and pays for them as well. And you're mad that your regular job is not something that you may love in most cases. And then they get paid to love to play basketball. In retrospect, with all of that, you mad that those players came together. Those players have built a bond. Those players have built a brotherhood. And those players have capitalized on the fact that they have all of the power, because without them, there is no product. So let's take that whole thing and let's wrap it up and put it into one big underlying statement. Regular people or employees are mad that the other set of employees have shown the blueprint to what it really is, but y'all don't know how to execute it because y'all don't pay attention to the things that are in front of you. You don't pay attention or know what your actual value or your power is. So now you mad at somebody else for empowering themselves, understanding their power, or respecting their time, their energy, their efforts in life. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call is a bitter syndrome. Dr. Germ going to break it down for y'all today. This is a constant thing I see with people, is where the reoccurring habit is. We're going to consistently hate the people who have the things or have the goal or who have the ambition or have the self-respect, over really just looking in the mirror and pointing at ourselves and saying, you can do this too.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
MJ, the floor is yours.
Y'all ready for this? I put my stopwatch on to make sure I don't go far or go over. I literally took the stopwatch.
We already over an hour. So
all right, let me stop with that. I stopped the stopwatch.
We only 2-3 minutes over the hour.
We will probably cut this show in half. This is gonna be a 2-part show. We'll cut it in half. It's fine. MJ, go.
All right, so let me first address everything that everybody said. I'm in 100% in agreement with all of you guys said. All of you guys made incredible points. The one thing that we have to do, one thing that I have learned when I had to therapize myself, if that's a word. When I went to self-therapy because I couldn't afford therapy.
Just call it looking in the mirror, brother.
When I had to look in the mirror, when I had to, go through accountability and ask myself those tough questions. After I asked those tough questions, the same question came back. Where did this start? So when we talk about this, we have to understand where all of this has started from. And I say I'm 30% Hotep because I'm not full Hotep, because I wholeheartedly believe that despite the hand that we as Black people have been dealt, we're special and great enough to be able to still overcome. I also am not full Hotep because I've met people of all different types of races that show love, that show compassion, that show respect, and show empathy. So for those, I still love you guys like brothers and sisters. I have no issue, no gripes, and no beef with you. Hence the reason why I say 30. With that being said, let me tap into that 30. Since slavery, this has been the mentality. Y'all need to talk about these GOAT discussions? This GOAT discussion started because ever since slavery, the master has done an incredible job of only picking one person to give favorable treatment to, which allowed the other ones to hate and ask, why can't I get that treatment? It was one person that got the extra coat, that got the good scraps, that was able to get into the house and play the piano for the guests. One that everybody loved. And sometimes he was light-skinned, which is probably why y'all hate Steph Curry. But then, if y'all want to go there, y'all can't just say it's light-skinned, because a fellow by the name of Michael Jordan, they put their arm around as well, too. Which I might add, don't he own a team in the NBA? Okay, just checking. I want y'all to hold that one for a second. Bringing it back, though. We have been fundamentally brainwashed to think that it is not enough for all of us. And that's why we hate it. Y'all want to talk about great and who's the greatest? Motherfucker, if you make it to the NBA, you are great. 450 out of millions of people who dream this. I don't care about who's the greatest. You make it there, you're great. If you get paid to play the game of basketball, you are great. If you are a Black man that had to overcome all of this bullshit and you are still sitting here successful and able to tell your story and not be a person that says, remember, like the George Floyds of the world, the Trayvon Martins of the world, you are great. I don't want to ever hear another Black man tearing another Black man down for competitive reasons, chasing some shit that already belonged to us. I'm sick of it. Ain't no fucking GOAT. We all GOATs.
That's the part that was annoying me, man. Because I'm seeing this from Black dudes more than not even the sisters.
But once again, I hear all that you saying, but the crabs in the barrel technique. Do we blame the crabs or do we blame the barrel? They ain't supposed to be in the barrel to begin with.
Oh, to be there, right?
We ain't supposed to be there anyway. So how can I blame the crabs who are not even in the environment they're supposed to be in? How can I blame them? They're supposed to be in the ocean.
We are so, I ain't gonna say we, because I think we here at 94, we try to not be this way, but I think you talk about J-Home, not as a Stockholm syndrome, bitter syndrome. I think people are just so programmed into what mainstream media tells you is how you're supposed to shake and move.
But who created the mainstream, Ron?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying, no, that's
the same people.
And I think we are so programmed to that when anybody goes outside of that, they all of a sudden become the target.
Y'all want to know what's funny? The Kyrie portion of it, which we've all charted since the summer of 2017, when Jerm told us that the trade was looming, and once the trade happened, and once we saw the LeBron contingency and apologists, that anything for all things Kyrie, it was all things negative coming from that contingency. I'm on a debate on that same Stockholm Syndrome post on my wall, one of my guys, and I actually got him to admit that was the reason why he was going that guy at this.
Absolutely.
Because he was caught into this fact of, well, I said, you was upset about the Braun trade, huh? That's really what it is, man. I said, no. Look at all
And
of
you know what?
it.
And what's funny
man.
about it?
Now
What's
let's
funny
try again.
about
Let's try again.
Go ahead, Trey.
Hey, we talked. I ain't finna stay too long on that. But did we not talk about this the other day? I mean, in 1984, David Stern took over. And what was David Stern's objective to change the game?
Market the players.
Market the players.
Market the players. Now, are y'all gonna sit up here and argue with a dead white man now? Where was this energy at in 1984,
Right.
85, 86, 87 to now? Where was this energy at? Y'all keep on letting this media drive your minds into thinking the way you want to think. You're gonna look stupid out here.
Especially when that same media comes from the DNA and the forefathers of people who automatically feel like they are fundamentally better than us because of the color of their fucking skin.
Thank you. And when they came back, and I kept reminding people of this, I'm like, y'all remember in the summer when the things came out in the bubble and they was talking discussion-wise, and Kyrie was like, yo, one of the things that Kyrie was saying is that, yo, we should start our own league. This is why. Why are we going to continue to put ourselves in positions to where we're lining these people's pockets who are paying these politicians and everyone else that are pretty much throwing these barriers and roadblocks against us?
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Kim Richardson because she went on 94 Feet of Light post, said that she was disappointed in what Jackie stated. Can somebody pull up when Jackie was born? And then ask yourself, is this really surprising?
Let me pull this up real quick, but I'm almost guessing we're in the late 50s.
I think it's programming. I think it's all of that. Because even we talked about people mad and we're mad at Kyrie for wanting to leave LeBron. But the flip side of that argument is that LeBron, for whatever you want to say about LeBron fans and all that, that dude has made all this, not by himself.
Oh no,
but he's a big reason why it's like this.
Yeah,
big reason why it's like this because,
and I salute him for that.
I salute him for that because he basically cut out that I will control every aspect of my career on and off the floor. Nobody gonna be able to do anything about it.
And Jackie McMullen was born 1960, so she's in her 60s right now.
Appreciate it. Now, I'm not going to even give it no more energy after that. I'll let y'all be the judge from there. And now, the funny thing about this is the same LeBron that we revel in is the same Jordan for his last 2 or 3 seasons who started to understand the business and understand, wait a minute, they are getting over on me something serious. I got to overcharge for what they did to the Cold Crush. So if you look at 1997, salary. Look at 1998, salary. Part of the reason why they broke up this team because they knew that they couldn't keep paying them numbers.
The only dynasty that ever be broken up in that fashion.
People forget in 1999, a lockout happened.
Right.
What you think the lockout happened for? That reason.
Hey,
the superstar, the GOAT, realized, wait a minute.
And this is
y'all getting a lot.
And then the second lockout happens because why? In part because of what?
LeBron realizes power.
We tired of paying 6-7 year max contracts.
We go shorten it to 4 or 5. Okay.
What? the brilliance of this generation.
When we don't catch in the watch, we're going to catch in the Ritz.
Oh, y'all don't want to give us no long-term money?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll just leave every 2 years. If we just leave, we will find another one of y'all to pay it.
And then,
y'all will.
And then on the red side, the TV deal, which was struck and landed because of the players, which is what, $2 billion a year, which the players get 49% of that. Everybody got raised. This is why we had the salary structure that we had.
And then if we want to rewind this all the way back to the 60s or the 70s, where Oscar Robertson filed a lawsuit against the NBA saying y'all are not treating us fairly. Why do y'all think the people don't talk about Oscar Robertson as the GOAT? Why do y'all think that?
Hey,
Let me take this 30% hotep off. I'm going to take this off because I'm going to keep going if I keep seeing it.
No, we're going to cut this show in half. Whatever we stop today, this going to
I'm just going to change my name because I can keep going. I can keep going.
We know one person that don't like Oscar Robertson.
Oh, yeah, we know. Shout out. Shout out, man, worldwide.
Hey, but I met Oscar Robertson too, and the energy was the same. The dude is very disgruntled. He's very mean. He's very, angry. But I understand why.
And not just
imagine hooping something that you love to do in the 60s.
And not just because he looked like Samson off Half Baked either.
No.
Get mistreated.
I just feel like fans are gonna have to get on board with the fact that these players in this league, I can't speak for Major League Baseball. We know the NFL they ain't got it. We know NFL ain't got it. But in this league that we watch, the players they say it's no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Right now, the players got the gun.
Players got
the program. The program is too embedded in a lot of these people in order for them to understand.
They don't.
You know how the program is this embedded? It's so embedded that a group of people thought it was cool to break into the Capitol. That's how embedded it is over a loss that was a fair loss.
That was a fair loss. That y'all moving off blind energy.
We ain't and out when they're labeled what anybody else will be labeled if anybody else did that, which is a terrorist.
So let's hold on, fellas. We're
gonna stop it right there because we gonna get way.
We're gonna stop it right there. But I want to say this to make sure because I want to clarify what my two guys just said here. We ain't even gonna say because it was a fair loss. We just gonna say because people are sore losers. Yeah, it don't need to be nothing else that needs to be said. It don't matter if you think something corrupt happened. It don't matter what it is. It can't listen. At the end of the day,
you lost.
You lost.
If
y'all talk about LeBron all the time and y'all do the hypotheticals and everything else, when LeBron lose, bro, listen, I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna end it. I promise. When LeBron lose, it's a whole bunch of hypotheticals. So LeBron contingency, you're no different. When this person lose over here, this person lose over here, y'all defend that. You're no different. Every time somebody loses something and y'all are apologists for their loss and it's a bunch of excuses and a bunch of bitter nonsense, you are part of the problem. So I don't want to hear y'all pointing the fingers because that is, again, the Spider-Man meme of, this group. Y'all all do the same thing. And then y'all expect different results. Y'all do the same thing.
Insanity.
When y'all, it don't even make this ain't even insanity. This is ignorance.
No, that's the definition. You just said the definition.
This is retarded. Like, this is stupid. Like, bruh, LeBron fans, y'all can't go and talk about nobody. If you are a LeBron apologist, you do the same thing that you are talking about right now with the situation with the Capitol. Sore loser syndrome is what I'm about to call it. Stop.
And where did it come from, Jerm? Where did it come from, Jerm?
Man, can't nobody take a L. These
Where
folks
it come from?
Lack of accountability.
Where's the root of that?
The root?
In the Confederacy.
This country was built on it. The country was built on this. That's what happened. That's what when you build a country on lack of accountability. You have a bunch of people who are not accountable. All right, Ron, that's yours. I'm sorry.
So
I ain't got nothing else to say, man. I'm finished.
so I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna do this. The Stockholm Syndrome portion of the show will be its own show. So
Yeah,
super
2 for 1
producer
today.
super producer MJ, because MJ, apart from being 30% Hotep, has also now become an incredible producer, editor. Hey, if you are a young prospect, basketball prospect, and you need some highlights cut up, our man MJ cut them up for you.
That's what I'm here
So
for.
we're gonna release this joint in 2 parts. Stockholm Syndrome will be its own episode
It's a revolution.
by itself. So remember, if you follow us on Twitter, SCEN_THE is the Twitter, THE.SCEN is the Instagram, 94 Feel Life is the Facebook group, Big Shot, J Ham, Trav, Germ, MJ, basketball for the people, by the people.